Okay, we will see questions now further. These are the questions like we have. Okay, this is the first question. In an activity, suppose if I have existing 10,000 customers, have common salary. Now I want to increase the salary dynamically at a time. What is the first of all? What is the meaning of this question? In an activity, suppose I have existing 1,000 customers, 10,000 or 1,000 or whatever it is. A number of customers are there. Means how this data is available. It's a page list data. I have a page list of 10,000 customers in an activity. They have some salary property in the list. It's like a value X. So now we want to increase the salary dynamically at a time. What does that mean? Dynamically at a time. Suppose it is a page list, it has a salary property which has a value. You want to update the value. You have to, okay, but let's see default, loop it and okay, what are the steps that we need to do? First, okay, browse is there already. It has been browsed. Obj browse. You get all the records of page list. So next step is loop. For each embedded page, you are going to loop it. So loop it for page list, right? Next. So within the loop, you need to do obj open or open by handle. After that, property set, and then obj save, and you commit. These are the steps we need to perform. First, we need to get the list of the customers, I mean employees, and their salary. Now open it. For opening, which one we need? Loop it and then open it. Set it. OBJ save and then commit. PJDINS key or PY, I mean class key. Anything would be fine. If it is class key, you are going to use OBJ open. If it is PJDINS key, if it is PJDINS key, OBJ open my and same. But here, I want to increase the salary dynamically at a time. Is it same or something different they are asking? This is runtime only.
So for one customer, they want to increase 50, the other customer.
I want to increase the salary dynamically at a time, common salary. Even though it is a different value also, same thing. Huh? First customer 10%, other customer 20%. Yeah, this will work. It depends. So how you will get the percentage of the customers is depends on customer ID. Again, from another table, you can bring that. Suppose for one customer the value is 10%, another customer it is 20%. You want to update. Which customer, how much percentage you want to update? How would you know? You should have this data available in a table. So there also you have to get the data from the, for each customer you have to open the customer table. Also you have to do another obj open. This is to open customer. This is to open customer increment. Get the customer increment. What is that increment? Salary that you want to fetch. So this is how you have to do. But if it is something different at a time, I'm not very much sure. We need more clarification on the question. Any other thoughts on this? Sorry? Common property in the sense? Salary increment. That's what we are discussing. Salary increment can be different or same. Depends. Functional. Yeah, you write in the property side, whatever you want to say, like a percentage you calculated, do the percentage, it's something. What is the order of rule resolution process? What are the rules that do not undergo rule resolution process? First of all, what is the order of rule resolution process? First of all, how many steps are there? 10 steps are there. First one is rule cache. Second one is, okay, let's say, if, okay, first one is always rule cache. Rule cache, if cache available. What are the steps? If cache available, pick the rule from cache and then verify not blocked. Verify user authorized. Next, process and present rule. Done. Suppose if cache not available, rule is not available in cache. Next, then what are the steps? Pick all the rules. I mean, collect all rules matching name and type, right? Matching name and type. Next is ignore not available and ignore not applicable rule set hierarchy. After that, ignore withdrawn. After that, ignore not in applicable class hierarchy. After that, next is rank by rule set class circumstance, right? After this is completed, find the best rule and keep in cache. Again, these are the steps. So these are the steps in the rule. What are the rules which are not undergoing with rule resolution process? What rules? Suppose let's say, let me open an operator ID. I am going to open operator ID. Does this have a rule set version? Does this have availabilities and all? You open access group. Access group also will not have. Access group will not have. Operator will have work group, work basket. So if there is no rule set version associated, and there is no what is it? Rule availability associated, and there is no circumstance. This kind of rules are not required to go through rule resolution process because it is pretty straightforward. Only that rule. Straightforward, only one rule is there. There are no multiple rules. When there are no multiple rules, there is no meaning of going through rule resolution. There is no availability. There is no meaning of going through rule resolution. Straightforward, it is going to pick the rule. So simply you can write, what is that you can write? Where is it? Oh, within the same, right? Okay. So data instances. Data instances like operator ID, access group, work group, work basket, etc. will not go through rule resolution process. So if you read this one, this sentence, you can remember it. What is the justification for this? That you don't know. If you read, suppose after 10 days, you will remember only this sentence. You will not remember about the justification. What is the justification for this? Why, suppose why data instances will not be part of rule resolution? Because these instances will not be associated with role set versions, what else, availability and circumstance ఇలాంటివన్నీ ఉండవు. So like this we don't have anything for this rule. That's why these rules are not part of rule resolution process. This is clear. So an application, okay, let me go to the next page. An application testing phase, but okay, there is an application which is working fine in testing phase and in the production environment becomes slow. It's related to performance of the application is slow down when it is in production. When it is in development or test environments, so there are no issues, there are no latency issues with the application. What could be the reasons? So tell me possible a number of reasons, whatever that you can tell me. Production server.
Users,
First is load on the server can be more comparatively with development. This is one thing. What is the second one? Hmm? Many? That should affect even development also. If it is guardrails, it should affect even development as well. So the second reason can be queries. Queries may result in huge data, huge returns of data. Suppose you run a query in development, it has written 10 rows. There is no issue with the application. We're not very much sure. In production, it may result 10,000 rows based on the criteria. So because production data is different, so this kind of situations, how you need to handle is you need to optimize the queries accordingly. So you need to optimize to handle the data on the clipboard, optimize to run the queries. In production, you have fetched it, you forgot to use page remove after you used it, no issues. In development, no issues, it's only 10 records. Same went to production, it has written 1 million records. You used it, you forgot to remove from the clipboard. What happens? Clipboard size will be increased. That may not be an issue when it is in development, but that is an issue when it goes to production. There can be these situations. So okay, queries may result in huge returns of data in production comparatively with database, and also page removes and all this should be perfectly written. Okay, this is clear. What is the next cause? Log files size may be huge on server. If on the server the logging that is been happening, because of n number of users are there, it might be huge size. As the size of the log files increasing, it may occupy the space of the log file. It is not only one day. We need to think about the solution for this is regularly refresh log files. I mean to say refresh in the sense backup log files from Linux, whatever it is, whatever server you are using, Linux or other servers. This can be another issue, right? So this is related to not only Pega, it can be any technology. So usually on the Windows servers or Linux servers, admin teams are going to write scripts, some of the scripts to find out log files of past 1 week before or 3 days before. They will archive these log files to another location. This is a scripting related to Linux. If you are using Windows scripting related to respect to server's operating system. If you're not doing this, what happens? One day server space will be occupied more with these log files. As a result, your application logging may not happen. When your application logging is not happening, it is your application trying to write in the log files. There is no space to write log files. What happens? Application will be slowed down. After some time, it will crash. Okay, this could be another cause. What are any other reasons? This is what comes into memory. So as memory is increasing, CPU burden will be more. It cannot process. Any other reasons?
Network issues.
Yeah, sometimes it can be network issues between admin servers, between application and your end user. There will be intermediate servers, load balancing issues can be a cause. Network issues can be a cause. So load on the server can be more, and queries that are running in the production may be used, and log file size, network issues, any other issues related to multiple servers running at a time will improve the speed. That is what load balancing management. Any other situations? No. That is what network issue. Environment variables to network it will go. There will not be multiple applications. Okay, these are the possible major causes. Okay, of the slowness issues, latency issues in the applications. Okay, what next question? What is the difference between exit activity and activity end? If you open an activity, let's say let's open child activity or any activity. If you open an activity, see you have a method called exit activity. Exit activity, and there is another method called activity end. So look at here. From this activity, okay, look at here. This activity is being called child activity, right? Child activity is being called from another activity. What is the activity? Parent activity. There is an activity called parent activity which is calling child activity with some method, whatever it is. In the child activity, in the child activity, I have written exit activity method. I have used exit activity method. So when I am going to run the parent activity, it is going to call child activity. Once child activity third step reaches, it will exit out of the activity, third or second somewhere. Let's say second for better understanding. So once this step executes, child activity will be completed. Third step will not be executed. Control returns back to parent activity. Further it will proceed, executing further steps in the parent activity. This is exit activity going to abruptly exit out of the current activity on which you have used exit activity. Okay. Whereas activity end, if I use this method, parent activity is going to call the child activity. It will come to child activity. Once activity end executes, it will immediately end the processing of all the chain of activities. It's not only 1 to 2, it can be n number of activities in the chain calling. So activity end once executes, it will end activity of child activity as well as parent activity. If parent activity is called from another activity, that called from another activity in the chain, whatever is there, completely all the processing of execution of chain of activities will be ending. Okay, this is what exit activity is going to exit out of the current activity, abruptly exit out of the current activity. Activity end is going to end the execution of all the chain of activities which are involved in the calling process. Branch will not do this. Okay, let me write down this. After that I'll talk to you. What is this? Exit activity ends the execution of current activity, whereas activity end ends the execution of all the chain of activities in the calling process, which are involved. This one up to clear?
how do we can use the next step if we are using
Next
the
step.
exit activity?
Exit activity.
In second,
If you are using exit activity, it will not execute further steps.
okay, but if I want to execute the third activity, it's a child, third step.
Third step, do not use exit activity. That's it. Branch. Branch is not doing same thing. How branch? Okay, now tell me. Let me design it first. Okay, so look at here. I have parent activity where I am going to call child activity. Okay, in the child activity, I am going to do this. Branch, another activity I will branch to. I will branch to this one. Okay, let's go to this activity now. So first activity has called to second activity. Second activity has branch to third activity. Let's say third activity also has a branch. Let's not bother about conditional execution. Branch to another activity. Now tell me how it works. Activity 1 to activity 2 call. Activity 2 to 3 branch, 3 to 4 branch. Exactly at what place the final execution control is going to end. Activity first activity means parent activity. After the call step, we have this step, right? Will this be executed finally? Will this be executed or not executed? It will not be executed. That means, what do you mean by this? After it called to child activity, it will go to branch another one, right? It will branch to here. Here it will branch to another activity. Let's say, let's not go further. Let's complete here itself. Call from parent to, it will call to child activity. Child activity to branching to another activity. This activity completely executed, right? After this executes, what happens? Child activity, it will come to child activity. After it come to child activity, what happens? Third step will be executed or will not be executed? Will not be executed. Up to this clear? After this is not executed, what happens? It will go to parent activity. After it goes to parent activity, will it execute third step? మరి ఇందాక ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వదని చెప్పారు. It will execute third step. That means control is ending where? Parent activity only, right? Is it same as activity end? Is it same as exit activity or activity end? Exit activity means here itself it will end. Okay, you mean branch? Here it will end. It will not further execute, but it will come back and execute. Exit activity will do the same. Branch also is doing the same. Activity end, it will not come back at all. So wherever you have activity went, from that place itself, it will just exit out of every other activity. Branch purpose is to call other activity. Okay, branch, how it works? It will execute this activity or not? It will execute this activity. If I write exit activity here, there is no meaning of calling. Branch purpose is to invoke other activity, and then after executing child activity, it will complete the processing of that particular wherever you branch it. But exit activity immediately will exit out. This is clear? Okay. What are the process improvements that you have to do or take care in your project? Process improvements. This is related to your project and you need to understand your project. Okay, this is related to process, not technical. Process improvements. What could be the process improvement? Depends on the current process that you are following, first of all. Based on that, you have to talk about. But you are following some process. Did you make any process improvements in your existing project or not? That means, do you have the capabilities of lead capabilities or not? What are the process improvements that you have done in your application? What could be the process improvements that you have to do? Let's talk about ideal processes. If it is not meeting this process improvements, then you have to improve it accordingly. Okay, again the situation should support. What are the first of all process that you follow? So చెప్పండి what is the process that we follow? Okay, suppose as a developer only you need to think about, right? First of all, as a developer, when you are being assigned with a task, what is the process from that moment onwards? That you should know. After that only you can speak about it.
We use the rules.
We use
Rules.
rules means you are given with the task, you are done with your task. What are the process steps?
We have to take care of
The moment you are being assigned with a task till the production deployment is done, what is the process?
we have to take care of new.
First one, you will do analysis. You should have time to do the analysis. So after analysis, what you do? Let's see, during analysis phase you identified some issues. Suppose you are being assigned with a requirement, your colleague is assigned with a requirement. Your requirement should be done in 3 hours, your colleague's requirement is also should be done in 3 hours. But thing here is, your requirement dependent on your colleague's requirement. Once he completes only you can start, otherwise you cannot start. Got it? Then what is that? What you will be doing? How are you going to complete your task on time? You should not be. Suppose your colleague is delaying, then what happens? Hmm? That is parallel development, man. I am not talking about parallel. I am talking about requirement itself. After your colleague completes his requirement, just I'll simply tell you. I have been asked to design a screen. Let's say in the screen where business is asking you to display a customer data when you click on a button. So this data should be from the top level list of customers displayed. But that is not my requirement. Displaying list of customers is my colleague's requirement. After he displays, from that I have to understand how he is displaying, what keys he is displaying in the UI, based on which key I need to display an individual customer when you click on that customer, whatever the ID. After I complete only I can do it. Correct or not? This is dependency. I have given you just a simple dependency. There can be complex dependencies. In this kind of situation, you analyzed it. After you analyze, you find out, okay, requirement B is dependent on requirement A's completion. Requirement A is completed, then only you can start working on requirement B. So how do you proceed now? But you have to complete on time. Hmm? Sim simulators. What do you mean by simulator? Test data. So you have to implement the requirement with the test data. Consider that. So you need to create an activity, right? On click, you need to run an activity, pass the parameter. That parameter you manually pass it and implement the requirement. Done. You should not wait for him to complete. You have to do it after he has completed his assignment. There should be a little bit of change. If you make that change, it should work. That's how you need to go ahead with. Sometimes hard coding is required. That is what simulation, as I told. Okay. So this is how you need to perform. So analysis phase, if you have find out any issues, first thing what you need to do, talk to leads and business. Leads, architects and business. So this is the first thing. Your analysis is done. Okay, so you have no ambiguities or nothing. Then what is the next step? You will go ahead with design and development. So you are going to complete your development. So development is completed. What is the next one? Third one, unit testing. It's a self-testing, right? So you need to prepare the test cases and then do self-test the functionality of the application. After that, peer review. This is important. Peer review by leads or colleagues. It can be anyone. Leads or colleagues, you have to go out with the peer review by someone. After that, what is the fifth step? Demo to business. Demo to BA. BA should know, right? So without BA approval, it cannot be moved. Okay. Now you have to give a demo, screen share, and give a demo to business analyst. This is how it was. I made these changes. This is how it is working. So BA also will test once. Approved. After BA approved, then move to hand over to tech leads. So tech leads are going to patch it, I mean product it, patch and move to QA. That means you are handling over to QA team for QA testing. Now what does the QA team is going to do? QA will test and raise defects in DMS if defects are there. If no defects, no problem. So if defects are there, QA is going to raise the defects. Next developers work on defects and move to dev. Again same process. After development is completed, review, peer review, demo is done, might not be required or required, so you have to hand over it to QA again. So after QA has no issues, then what happens? All okay, BA also will test in QA. Next it will go to move to UAT. So here also same thing, user acceptance testing environment. UAT environment also same, defects comes, you have to work on. No defects, successfully everything is done. Next is to all set for prod deployment. In the production deployment day, release management team is going to deploy it. Done. UAT is not replication of production. What is the environment which is a replication of production environment? UAT cannot be replication of production, right? So production is running. For this release, you move some code to UAT before you move to production. Is it replica?
But you also
QA is like that.
UAT also can do.
Hmm?
UAT also will do work on
We will do
defects, working on
defects. If you have any defects in UAT, you will work on development, move to QA, again test it, and then move to UAT.
then you can say
Huh?
you can say replicable.
UAT is not replication. What is the environment which is replication of production? Staging also. What do you mean by staging environment? See, the process is like this. Development environment to QA, QA to UAT, UAT to production. This is the move that happens, right? Suppose my production move is completed. Now, is your development replica of production? Same is there in production? Not there. See, my release is day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is my release. Today I stopped my development because everything is completed. What is there in production? Already there in development. Some additional components have developed. Move to QA, done. Move to UAT. Now all these four environments same or not same? With respect to code, it is same, right? Then development is also replica of production, right? After your release is completed, you start development again. It will have more code. Again QA will have some more code. Again UAT will have some other code. So nothing is replica of production here. Then what is the replication of production environment is post-production environment. So there will be environments called post-production environments. After your production move is completed, business will test the production environment with some test cases. Then they will do the same production deployment what they have done in post-production. Post-production will be done after production. No one is going to touch post-production for any testing purpose, nothing. After post-production, post-product will be tested. Done, fine. You find an issue in post-production, then is it same the issue may happen in production? You have issue in post-production, after you move to production, no issues at all. You move to post-production, there are some issues you identified. You have to work on it now. It is a data issue or related to server configurations you need to identify. That may impact your production. Not sure. There are no issues considered. So during the production phase move, you will only touch development, QA, UAT and prod. Post-production is like a backup of production. So which is replica of production now? If you have any issue in production, suppose this is the release I am working on. I have done my development testing, QA testing, UAT testing. Production move is not completed. Production has old code. All these three environments have new code. There is some issue in production. Where should I test it? No, I want to replicate the issue after I find an issue in production. I am testing in development, issue is not happening. Testing in QA, issue is not happening. Testing in UAT also issue is not happening. We cannot judge that the code that is available here in production is also there in UAT, right? UAT, QA and all. But issue is not happening. There is some additional piece of code that might be fixing the issue. As part of this release, there might be additional piece of code that we have implemented that might be fixing the issue. We are not pretty much sure. Exactly, I want to understand whether this issue is replicating or not. Where should I test it? I have to test in post-production because it is the copy of production. Issue happens in post-production, that is with the existing code that I have fixed as part of my development now. So your post-production environment is the environment which is the copy of your production when you consider the movement from development to production. In between UAT is also there. This is how, that is the perfect design of any client to maintain the backup of production. That is why we have post-production. UAT you generally call it's a pre-prod environment. Correct or not? UAT environment you also call it as pre-production environment, meaning that before it moves to production it has to pass through UAT. But after you move to production, there is another environment called post-production environment. This is the perfect way of maintaining the servers in enterprise application. It's a different server. Post-production will never be touched before a production move. See, if the clients do not want to get into risk, they have to maintain post-production. Okay, I have worked on post-production environments. There are clients with no post-production environments. It depends on staging environment is different. Staging is something which you deploy to the production environment. Staging is different. It's a deployment place. It's a package staging area. That's not the one. So main thing is post-production will be there with some clients. Now here your process improvement plans comes into picture. Every time we are facing an issue in production, but when we try to replicate it, we are not able to replicate in UAT and development and other environments because these environments are updated than production. That is the issue. We have seen it 10-15 times. We want to overcome this issue. If ultimately see that issue is with knowledge or without knowledge, it is been fixed in lower environments. So exactly I want this issue to be replicated. If it is related to code and all, I want one environment which is going to be copy of production environment. That is what I am going to maintain, post-production environment. This is the process improvement. Okay, what are the process improvement? I suggested my client with having a post-production environment. Okay, this is one process improvement plan. You can say if you have this kind of issues, if you have faced. Next thing. We are analyzing. Yes, story points only. Yes. Next thing is, suppose I am a developer, I am working on a task. As part of my development, I have worked on some rule set, some rules are there, I have worked on it. Now, before it moves to production, I have resigned, I just left my organization. There is new resource that has come, he has been assigned with your task. So unfortunately, the problem is you are not been given with KT of what other developer has done. Before you land here, he left from the organization. Now, after this has been tested further, you have faced some issues in the business. Now business is, now QA team or someone is raising defects, you need to work on the defects. So when you want to work on this defect, what is the procedure? Where you need to start? You need to start with analysis of the task, right? You need to go ahead with the test case preparations. You need to go ahead and first find out where the other user has made changes. Someone who has left, he would have made some changes in the activities report definition somewhere, internal rules somewhere. And I am not pretty much sure what changes he has done. If I want to do that, I can compare the rules. Old rule, old version, new version rules, I can see. So I need to understand everything now on my own. First of all, finding out the rules that has been updated is only known to that person. No one else knows in the team. So I need to find out that. So this is now the issue is finding out these rules is being difficult in this kind of situation. Or otherwise you left your task in between after updating like this. Okay, same thing. So finding out the rules for the new developers is being difficult. And on the other hand, during next release, we identified an issue with the past task which has been done. another requirement. Because of another requirement, we had an issue after the new release. Now we need to retrack to the previous requirements, the implementation, and then correct it. So for retracking here also, you need the same developer. If it is another developer, it's a problem. So you need to find out all the rules, and it is a little bit difficult. He has to do the analysis, run the tracer, and then find out the rules of this requirement and all. This is how my process design is currently. These are the issues we are facing. How do you improve your process to overcome this kind of issues?
And so daily, what the task is going to do, is we need to share the screenshot at the end of the day
In an email.
To the lead.
In an email, screenshots sharing after the end of the task emails also may not work. We cannot.
We need to maintain one document and share it to the lead.
Okay, he has to maintain a document and place it in a common path with the requirement. This is the requirement. For this requirement, this is the document. What should be there in the document?
What are the rules he's going to?
So as part of this requirement, I want to improve the process to maintain a Excel sheet. Each developer assigned with the requirement should have an Excel sheet, common Excel sheet in the shared point. They will open the Excel sheet, their requirement, what rule is modified, when this has been modified, last modified, before modified, date, and after modification. When I started modification is completed. This is the rule I have modified. Which rule set you have modified it? Which rule set version you have modified it in? What is the application version? Like this, you need to maintain the data. I am not required to maintain what steps I have added, what modification, because if I go to previous version and this version, I will be able to find out. Suppose it is a new rule, this is the new rule I have created. This is the rule set, this is the rule set version, this is the application version. If you maintain like this, what happens? Anyone is going to take up this task later point of time, they can open this one. This is the requirement, this has been done. For this requirement, okay, this developer has made the rule changes here in the application version, rule set and rule set versions. I can easily go ahead and find out this. This document you have to maintain with proper information. This is one process improvement that we have done. We are not doing any tracking sheet of development. This is the development tracking sheet. So like this is another process improvement. Okay. So you can mention some of the things like this. You need to think about the issues on your own if you're already working and find out that and provide a fix for it by improving your process. This is another one. What are the other possible situations? So I'll tell you the situation. The issue we have discussed, right? Previous above issue. There is a query that is running in test environment, fine. No issues we identified. After I move this query to production environment, the report definition rule is there. Report definition has been executed without any issues. It has 3 or 4 joins, let's say. So it is executed without any issues in development environment. When it goes to production, because of it is fetching a lot of data in the production. Okay, report definition activity, OPJ browser, maybe direct RDBA query. Because of that, latency issue is happening. We are identifying this sort of issues in development to production many times. Our application is every time going down, every 15 days. This is the issue we are repetitively facing. What could be the solution to fix, to not get this sort of issues in production going forward? So here you need to improve your process. What could be the process improvement here? I am asking process improvement, not rule improvements. Okay, everything is reviewed. Everything is reviewed successfully. Development, test, QA, everything is fine. But when it goes to production, it's gone. So like this query related anything you are going to implement, you need to always contact DBS. We need the involvement of DBS. DBS should run a select query without any updates in the production. They have to execute in production. They should find out the time interval, how much time it is taking to execute in production. There are cases like this. Any database related queries that are moving should be reviewed and approved by the DBS before they move into production. Then only you have to take this ahead into other environments. DBS says, okay, this is the complexity here, because production is designed like this, joins like this on the tables with huge data will not work. If it is external database query, you will better understand the situation. So they will tell you, they will guide you for some optimization techniques. Okay, you don't do this because 4 tables are there. We will join these 4 tables and create a view for the business. For this, we will get accordingly business approvals. On the view, you implement. After view is ready, we will tell you anything like this on these tables, you go ahead with the view going forward, it will not impact your performance. Okay, so like this is one process improvement which we have made involving DBS into the approvals of the queries and optimization of the queries going forward. Like this, you need to identify some of the challenges in your day-to-day activities or the issues that you are facing and provide a process-wise solution for that. Okay, so like this, you need to talk about process improvement plans that you have made or suggested to your business. Most of these will be already established and be there in your process. If not there, you have to, if you find it has been just disturbing your development or giving you more bugs and all, then you have to go ahead and make a process improvement plan, get it approved, and then introduce that new process. This is clear. So like this, you need to talk like this. If you see, there are n number of process faults in the existing system. Okay, you can identify it and fix it. What is the main difference between, okay, what are the differences between standard and advanced agents? What is the main difference between a standard and advanced agent? What is the main difference? Okay, what is that? Standard agent, another one is advanced agent. So one is standard agent, other one is advanced agent. What is the standard agent purpose? Okay, this is recommended for transactional processing, meaning that case processing, right? So this is one non-transactional processing, meaning that this is okay. Processing does not involve case processing. So he okay, it doesn't involve any case processing, just like emails, SMS, sorry, not SMS, archival of DB, like this. Okay, etc. You can say. Next one, what is the other difference? Standard agent uses auto AQM provided by Pega. Auto AQM means provided by Pega. OOTB AQM. OOTB auto queue management system. Advanced agent will not use. If we want to go for queuing, we need to design custom queue mechanism. What is the other one? Okay. What is the third difference? So, number standard agent runs on requesters access group. Whoever puts the item in agent queue. So what about this one? Advanced agent runs on the access group specified in agent's rule form. Next, standard agent runs activity n number of times per wake up where n is number of queue items. What about this one? Advanced agent executes agent activity only once per wake up. So activity associated with standard agent should be there in the work object class. Coming to this one, advanced agent activity can be there in any class. Any other differences?
Agent scheduler also we have access to, right?
This is same copied there.
If standard ignore the access group,
What is one second? What is the other differences? Standard agent can be on multi-node environment, multiple nodes. Advanced is on recommended to run on one node, even though we have multiple nodes available. Why? Because locking we need to implement. Okay, then that is not possible. Someone is asking what is the there are many standard and advanced agent Pega provides. మనం ఆపేసేయాలి. We need to stop it. If you do not want that to happen on multi-node environment, we have to stop it. Suppose you have an advanced agent. The advanced agent is going to generate the report, add it into the email and send it to all the managers. This is running on multiple 4 nodes. So every day one email should be sent to that manager, right? How many emails will be sent is 4 emails. You have to stop in all other 3 environments. Otherwise it will send 4 emails. Same data.
We are not specifying the access group in agent.
If you do not specify access group in agent rule form,
If you are having the access group in agent scheduler,
it will always read from agent access group and agent scheduler. Where is it? This place. Okay.
you take this one or
See, always PRPC will take from schedule rule.
we are mentioning 2 different access.
Always schedule rule. Suppose here you can have different interval. Agent will have different interval. This will be considered, not the agent related. Schedule rule, whatever you opted, that will be taken. Same case. What is AQM and AQM support standard agents only or advanced agents as well? OTP AQM will not support. Yeah, what is AQM? Auto queue management feature. It has queue table. PR says queue item will be inserted by using queue for agent activity. AQM, OTP AQM will be used by standard agent. Advanced agent, standard agent. If we apply, what is that? AQM with advanced agent, what happens? We need to implement our own queue management. This is what we have to do on our own. Okay, this is clear. So what is the difference between assignment level SLA and work object level SLA? What is the difference? Assignment level SLA is only for one assignment, one particular on which we apply it. Work object level SLA is applicable throughout the case processing till it gets resolved, either successful or unsuccessful. Okay, this is clear till it gets resolved. So now I have a question. Suppose I have an SLA which defines some time interval. I call this SLA on work object level. Same SLA is called on some assignment level. In a workflow, I have 4 assignments. I have applied an SLA at work object level as well as same SLA applied on assignment level. Then how it behaves? Will that assignment level SLA works or it will not work? Hmm? Work object level SLA is going to override the assignment level SLA. Okay.
If we are doing like 2 different SLAs,
There is no question. If it is different SLAs, and remember one thing, the assignment level SLA should have less time than work object level SLA. If it has more time, then your work object level SLA is breached, your assignment level SLA runs.
no, my question is like total object level SLA is having 4 hours, and the assignment SLA is having 15 minutes. Then it will take the preceding right on this work object level SLA.
Same assignment, same SLA, no?
No, we have a flow which is having 4 assignments.
A flow has 4 assignments. You have applied 2 different SLAs or same assignment? 2 different SLAs. Work object level SLA has 4 hours. Assignment level are 15 minutes. How it works?
First it will take the assignment level, right?
There is no question. First, assignment level SLA starts calculating once assignment gets created. This 15 minutes is subset of 4 hours. During this 15 minutes for SLA calculated, the time for work object level will be running. What is the other one? Okay, next question is, I have one work object based on some condition. I want to route to work basket or to work list. I have to route to, so I want to route work object to work list or work basket. So how you can achieve this? This is the requirement. If you want to give a condition in single assignment itself, on the assignment for one single. So I have an assignment, you know how to route to work list or work basket. But the situation is not like this. The requirement is either you should, based on some condition, it should go to either work list or work basket. How do you implement? What are different ways? Man, if you answer like this, no one is going to select you. First understand the question. What is question?
We can demand their skills like that.
What is the question? I have an assignment. I know how to route it to work list or work basket. Pretty straightforward, it routing to either work list or work basket, right? But my requirement is should not behave like this. I have to configure the assignment such that it should be either routed to work list or either routed to work basket, depends on a condition. This is the question. Now tell me, by using SLA. Okay, by using what? Circumstance. You will circumstance the entire flow for one assignment. Or for this assignment, you can have a subflow. Subflow can be circumstanced. In the circumstance condition, what is the condition? Some condition. You will have circumstance subflow, normal subflow. You will route the one to work list, another one to work basket. This is one solution. Okay, next. Decision shape, same assignments you maintain twice, right? Decision shape you will add in a flow. Same assignment you maintain twice. One assignment you configure work list, one assignment you configure work basket. decision based it will, but same assignment how many times you are writing? 2 times. Circumstance also same assignment you are writing 2 times. Look at here, the condition is on single assignment itself. So manalatal kosam ichindi question. So if you read it more, if you want to give the condition, it should be only one assignment. If you go to subflow and draw, and then you are going to circumstances, how many assignments will be there? Same assignment 2 times. Decision shape also same assignment 2 times. This is not a feasible solution. Then split for each, no. Split for each is different. Huh? Sorry? You'll use utility what? So what? Chapandi. It should be configured on assignment. Remember that. It's not before assignment or after assignment. Routing should happen on assignment only. That we know. That means that condition checking and everything. Once you reach the assignment, it should check the condition and should either route to work list or work basket. Then. Where do you? We know what is the condition we have to give. X is equal to y. Inside assignment, is there any possibility that you can add a condition at the routing? Let's open the flow. I will open the flow. Let me open any one of the flow. This is the flow man. Okay, this is assignment. కొంచెం difficult గా ఉంది క్వశ్చన్. ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్, ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్ డిఫికల్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ నేను చెప్తా ఉన్నాను కదా రోజు. సో ఇది ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్ అయ్యింది, తెలిసాక ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్ అయింది. మనం ఆలోచించినంత వరకు డిఫికల్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఆలోచించి చెప్పండి. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అసైన్మెంట్. ఐ విల్ షో యూ ఆల్ ద ఆప్షన్స్. Route to operator, route to work basket, custom. So when you go to custom, suppose, so if you choose route to operator, pretty straightforward, you provide operator ID or property reference also fine. Choose work basket, pretty straightforward, you provide work basket ID, work basket name or any property which is holding work basket name also fine. You go to custom, you have custom routing of to work list or to work basket. To work list, see here, to work list or to work basket. What is this to work list? You should know first of all. What is this to work list? We discussed it, right? How would you call an activity in an assignment shape? This activity is of what type? Router activity. Activity is of type route. You can call in this place. Okay. See this activity. If you call this to work list and pass the parameter. Parameter value is an operator ID. Direct operator ID or reference from a property is also fine. If you call work basket activity, you will pass the same parameter. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి. Is there any place where we cannot condition here? There is no place. So how do you implement conditional routing either to work list or work basket? Again in another activity. In this activity, you suppose in this activity if you change anything, this will impact all other work list activities. You should not touch this activity. Now I will create my own activity. Activity name is route to work list or work basket, which is of type route. I will call that activity. In the activity I will add a precondition. Condition is satisfied, I will call an activity to work list. Call to work list. Condition not satisfied, to work list is executed successfully, exit out. Otherwise skip the step and proceed to execute call work basket to work basket. It will execute either work list or work basket. That is your custom activity. This is one approach. What is the other approach? So let's write down this first of all. What is this? Where is it? This one here, right? So we need to, one solution, we need to write a custom activity which calls custom route activity, right? Route activity which calls to work list or to work basket activities based on precondition. Done? Okay. Next, what is the next one? What is the next approach? What are the other options available? So to decision table, work list and to decision table. What is this one? This option? This will not route to either work list or work basket. This will route to work list where decision table among multiple work list and multiple work. This is one possible solution what I have given you.
The columns which are not direct manager.
What is that?
Manager name, data manager. Missing data manager.
This is what depend. This is what we thought of actually, right? The description already. This is also router type activity only. You can customize this activity router type. If you see here, assign to parameter, you are assigning user identifier here. Okay, it is also check availability, right? This activity is a custom activity for routing. You can customize this activity if you want. Like instead of creating your own activity, you can customize two work list, two work basket like this. You can write down. So other than this, what are the other possible ways? Any other options? Any other possible ways? Okay, you try a test case. Based on this test case results, you can justify whether that is possible or not. What you need to try is you define decision table, two decision table, custom, work list, and two decision table you define here. Where is it? The return value of the decision table should be in operator ID. You configure like that based on some condition and route it. One of the return value which satisfies the condition, you return a work basket name instead of operator ID and see it is working or not. It is very simple. You are going to define a decision table which returns operator IDs. A is equal to B, operator 1, A is equal to C, operator 2, A is equal to D, work basket. And test this requirement. If it works fine, where you are returning two work list you have chosen, but you are returning work basket name. Is it routing or not? If it is routing, then that is also one solution. If it is not routing, what is the error message that you are getting? So this is a learning again. Okay, this can be an interview question. So there are situations. I'll choose the operator here. I'm going to pass work basket ID here. What happens? I'm going to choose the operator and give the work basket ID here. You try it on your own. The same I have told you through decision table. Okay, you have chosen two work list. Instead of passing operator ID or passing work basket name, execute and see whether it is routing to work basket or not. You just test it. You cannot simply say it will not work or it will work. What is the next question? Suppose in a call center, CSR is started working on some work object. Someone is going to pick the work object and work on it. He is having a goal time of 1 hour. Client is called for some complaint, but CSR asked for some required documents after 10 minutes. So client has taken time 4 hours to send the requirement documents. So up to that, he has to stop the SLA. How can we achieve this? The CSR should continue from where he stopped the process once he received all the details. This is the requirement. So it's pretty simple. Leave about the requirement. I have an SLA. I want to stop the SLA for some time. What we should do? Huh? Wait is after or before, right? It's not on the assignment. I don't have anything. Huh? So how do you pass the SLA? Question is simply how to pass SLA. I don't know about this. So we should know completely about how SLA works. Let's see if we find a solution from this. How an SLA works. First of all, when an assignment is created, what happens in the background for with respect to SLA? Tell me. For assignment, work list table or work basket table will be updated as per routing. With respect to SLA, what happens in the background? First, let's go to run a flow. Chapan, what do you know about how this is going to work on SLA? After assignment created, what happens with respect to the SLA? First, Deliyali. If you know that, then we can think of something. Without knowing that, we cannot do anything. So, suppose there is any rule OTV SLA, just passing SLA, then that is fine. Pretty straightforward. You can work on it. If you know, you can answer that. If you don't know, you need to find out to give some information. So this is assignment. Where does this assignment details will be available? On clipboard. Which page contains details about assignment? Huh? New assign page. This is urgency assign SLA 5. SLA name. This is SLA name. SLA related only we see these two properties. Urgency work class, urgency assign SLA is 5. 10 plus 5, urgency assign finally is 15. But we don't have any SLA related time properties and all. Goal time is there. Okay. PX goal time. Goal activity. Control F. Goal activity is there. Reassign. Deadline. PX deadline time is there. Defined. And we have past deadline time. There's nothing. Deadline time is there. Okay. Anyway. Now what happens in the background for SLA? Specifically for SLA. So how PRPC knows that after 1 minute it has to increment the value, after 2 minutes, how it knows? Hmm? So it happens on the foreground or background? Background processing will be done by agents. Which agent is responsible for processing SLAs? Service level events in Pega program rule set. Right? That agent will monitor the incoming SLAs and then accordingly it will update. So what tables? There should be some queue table for this agent, right? What is the table name? PRC queues SLA. It will identify the queue table. Let's open that. PRC queues SLA. This is the item which we have kept just now for Pega program service level events. System queue service level ID is there. This is being processed means the SLA time intervals are calculated. After SLA is been completely breached, it should be deleting the item from this. There will be a binary data. This is the item. If this item is there, SLA will run. If this item is not there, SLA will not run. Okay, but you cannot delete this item and say I have passed SLA. Only thing is this item should not be picked by agent. You cannot stop the agent as well. If you stop the agent, all other items will be passed. Only this item should be passed. ఏంటండి Already lock will be acquired by this agent. At the time it will acquire a lock. So we should know one of the property. Create data is okay, save data is okay, commit data or something based on something. You should have to wait on it. Is there any status for this? Status is there. If it is scheduled status, it will pick. If it is not scheduled status, I mean the status is broken process, then item will not be picked, right? But we cannot do that. You cannot put it in a broken process. That might not be right solution. Will that pass the SLA? If you put in broken process, SLA time will be passed because it will wait there. Time will not be updated. It should be passing. I'm not very much sure. So based on this only we need to identify. Okay, just try to research on this and find out a solution on how to pass SLA. Do we have any solution? Search and so you need to research on the things like this. SMA, what you will check? 1 second. Yeah, in there you have system queue management. Just hang on. Agent management. What do you mean by differ? Okay, this is the now processing item for this SLA, but how do you know this is same as your SLA? ఎట్లా తెలిసింది మనకి? నాకు ఒక 10 సర్వీస్ లెవెల్ ఈవెంట్స్ రన్ అవుతున్నాయి. This time I have 10 assignments created with SLAs, 10 different. Exactly how would I know this is my SLA? ఇక్కడ చూసి చెప్పండి, ఇక్కడ ఉండాలి కదా తెలియాలంటే. కానీ ఇదంతా డెవలప్. Okay, what happens when you stop here? The same you have to do. But you cannot ask a developer to log into SMA and do this. But one thing is, you can stop SLA this process. In this process, if you are clicking on stopping, what is getting updated, we need to understand. Before you stop, this is XML, right? So after you click on stop, you find out what parameter is changing here. There should be some parameter that should be get updated, right? So that parameter you have to update. What are all the parameters? It's not only one parameter. Date, time, everything. If it is updating, you have to update. The same you have to implement, providing a UI. You cannot ask a developer to go to SMA, find out this, and then click on that and verify the XML, which is the ID matching, and stop that. That is not possible. So what is happening when you click on stop here? What parameters are updating based on which ID? So this one you need to implement a new design in your new. I think it should be there in enterprise version. So you have to go ahead and implement a new screen where on the screen you have to provide the assignment ID. That assignment SLA, click on a button stop, it should stop the SLA. Another screen is provide the assignment ID, restart, it should restart the SLA. It should be there available as far as it is concerned with business requirements. Okay. And so first you should know background process of SLA, then only you should understand, you should be able to answer, otherwise you should not be able to answer. If pretty straightforward solution is there already provided UI OTB, you can answer it. But what it is going to do in the background, that is the next question. You open this UI, click on this, what is happening in the background, how SLA is being stopped, you are caught. Service level events. Pega Procom rule set. This is clear. So these are the entry questions, but the questions that you have sent, right? All questions have answers now. Rashakar, all the questions have answers ఉన్నాయి కదా? అన్ని చిన్న questions. దాంట్లో టఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ పాయింట్ అవుట్ చేసి సెండ్ ఇట్. కొన్ని సినారియోలా ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఉంటే పంపించి డైరెక్ట్గా ఆపరేటర్ రేట్ టేబుల్లో సేవ్ అయితే అలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అవి అవసరం లేదు.